never sent nor received any information that was classified at the time it was sent and received. And what I think you're seeing here is a very typical kind of discussion, to some extent disagreement among various parts of the government.
All right. I don't know if former governor of Virginia, Jim Gilmore, president of the Free Congress Foundation, is a football fan or not, but I'm telling you, Hillary should have done just what Brady did. Just destroy the phone. Just, just go to destroy it. Anyway, and of course the NFL upholding Brady's suspension today, saying he was not cooperative. He destroyed all the phone, which could have had evidence. Jim Gilmore, Governor, welcome, sir.
Good. Thanks very much for the chance to be with you.
Well, it's always great to talk to you. So tell me, I know you got something. You got an announcement on Thursday, which is 2 days away. I know that's for everyone else, but for us, are you running for president?
Well, we'll let you know on Thursday. At that point, I think there's going to be an announcement that you'll probably be interested in. But, the goal here is to do the right thing for the United States, and whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. All
right. Well, let me ask you. I mean, let's work under the premise. I'm not saying you're saying it, but work under the premise that the announcement will be that you're running for president. How do you navigate the crowded field at this point?
The crowded field is not significant. What is important, because frankly, if you really look at all the talk that's going on with the crowded field right now, it actually encourages one to get in and try to offer some serious proposals and some serious leadership based upon real experience. But that type of process point really isn't significant. What is significant is that somebody's got to offer a plan and a proposal to help the United States of America. We're in really serious economic trouble. The international situation is bad and getting worse. We've got to rebuild the United States' strength and provide genuine international leadership. And again, I have that experience both as a former governor on the economic side and the legislative side, and deep foreign policy experience in order to make a contribution to the nation and provide the direction for the country.
When you look at what's going on and you see Donald Trump at the head of almost every single poll nationally and statewide, what does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that this is so early that the campaign is not as developed as you think it is. Everybody's talking now about the big names that are in the race, but they're all based on name identification. Jeb Bush has name identification because his brother was president, his father was president. Trump has name identification because he ran a reality show for years and years. And I think that everything else is showing that there's still room and time for a serious discussion about the future of the country. I don't want to go in this thing to be some flamboyant, silly person or somebody saying reckless things that are a turnoff to the American people. I want to try to lead the American people in a direction that's good for the country, good for our families, and good for the safety and security of the people of the United States.
Well, along those lines, the Secretary of State testifying again today before Congress about this Iran deal. Why on earth do you think the Republicans gave up their right to treat this as a treaty and just, and now need to override an expected veto and get two-thirds?
Your point is exactly right. They should not have given up that point. This is a treaty. The Constitution requires that the United States Senate approve that treaty. Now somehow they've got this thing turned on its head so that somehow the Senate's got the burden of overcoming the president by two-thirds. That's not what the Constitution contemplated, and that's not what this deal is. And the deal is a very challenging deal. And you were talking about the Secretary of State. Did you notice the Secretary of State seems to be, in that typical way, frustrated that somehow anybody would dare question his judgment or his deal-making? We have a right as Americans to assess this thing and determine whether it's in the best interest of the country and the world.
Right. His
frustration is inappropriate.
He even went so far the other day to say there were 535 secretaries of state, which meant, the members of Congress. Very briefly here, Governor, Jonathan Pollard will be released from prison after 30 years. It was announced today. What's your stand on that?
As a former United States Army intelligence agent, as a veteran of the United States Army, I'm not patient with people who spied and committed espionage on behalf of foreign powers getting lenient treatment. I know he's been in a long time, but the message that we send, if we're tolerant towards espionage, is not good. As you know, I have been the one who declared Edward Snowden as a traitor and needs to come back home and stand trial for what he has done. You know, when I was in the United States Army, I was very respectful of the law, respectful of my security clearance, respectful of the work that I was doing.
So Pollard should stay in prison.
I think Pollard has to stay in prison for his term.
Okay, Governor, great to talk to you. We'll talk to you much more as the time goes on. Thank you, sir. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, the Malzberg panel. But first, Donald Trump remains at the top of the GOP polls, and the media and critics say he doesn't have a plan, but he does. In fact, he wrote a book that says he will make America great again. It's called Time to Get Tough, and it outlines his plan to roll back Obama's policies and secure the border. Here's how you get your free book. Go to newsmax.com/Trump book. Get your copy now.